Okay, guys. Hey, hello, hello. Let me put this on for my wonderful my other crew. Give me 1 second. I don't think I have it right. I don't think I did this right, but okay, let me cancel. Share. Figured it out. Copy here. Paste. There we go. Edit EP 129. X Tales on the red couch. Uh, eh. All right. So, hey guys, I'm sorry. I think I'm a little bit behind, but that's okay. I'm trying to figure out this wonderful technology. And no, I'm not on the red couch tonight. I do apologize, but I just figured it was better lighting in my kitchen, and I do like my yellow walls. It situates the way how beautiful I look. So here we go. Right? Let me make sure my eyelashes are right. I guess so, girl. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's get into this. So tonight's episode, that's a better color. Thank you. Lighting. I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking kind of, I don't know. I told y'all I'm trying to get these lashes right. Jesus. I don't know. Sometimes this stuff just ain't right. But I'm going to hit record, and then we are going to get into tonight's episode. Hey guys, it is Janae. You know who I am, the self-care thug, host of Confessions from a Red Couch podcast, a podcast all about improving the relationship with yourself so you don't take your trash to others, because no one wants your unresolved issues. When I mean nobody, I mean no one, right? Not a one. So tonight's episode is going to be about my exes. Now, look, I want y'all to understand this, and this is something I always want people to understand. When I talk about past relationships, I also talk about how trash I was as well. And the reason why I said I was trash is because I was not shit. Okay. I was a horrible girlfriend. I was not at the point where everybody was trying to marry me off. I was not marriage material. And here's one of the reasons why. Basically, it's this, right? I did not know myself. I didn't know who I was. So at 22, I didn't know who I was. And I was engaged at 22, actually 21. I think it was 21, 22. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. But I was really engaged at that age. And I came to a conclusion I didn't know who I was. And I couldn't see myself with somebody if I didn't know who I was, right? So I went on my journey. It was a great journey. And I'm going to talk about, all of it. I'm going to talk about the person, the time, the fact that I was engaged twice. Yeah, I was engaged twice. And how I was out here in these streets. I was not for everybody, but everybody was for me. That sounds so bad, but it's not. Okay. But anyway, so once again, I'm not going to be bashing the men. I am just going to come forward and tell the truth. I'm going to talk about the things that I did wrong. I'm going to talk about the things that they did wrong. I'm going to also talk about how I was toxic in all those relationships, because I think it's really important that we accept our trash as well, right? Because nobody really wants how can I put this? Let me say this in a way that I don't offend anybody. Not that I really care, but how can I say this? So in this insane, what I'm saying, it's this right here. In relationships, they really do end, and they end, not all relationships are forever. Y'all, if this eyelash don't try to act right, it's not like I'm going nowhere afterwards. I just don't want to be looking a mess in my promos. Okay, so here we go. I'm sorry, just off. So here's the thing. So relationships, not all relationships are made to last, right? We have believe me, if they were, I wouldn't be with my husband right now. But the fact of the matter is that each person contributes in a way to make the relationship end, whether good or bad. Each person contributes to that, and that's an okay thing. It's not anything to be mad about or to fight about. Like, if you got cheated on, and I'm sorry I'm bringing this up, but I'm gonna bring it up because I've been cheated on plenty of times. If you've been cheated on, right? So there's some things that you were ignoring. If the person, not saying that it's right, I'm not saying that being cheated on is right, but I'm also saying this. Think about what you were contributing to the situation to be cheated on. And once again, I'm not saying it's right. And some people just think they do everything right. And we really don't. Sometimes things aren't being fulfilled the way that they should be fulfilled. And I know, because I have been cheated on and I have been the cheater. I have been both. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My microphone just wants to act really dumb right now. That's okay. We got it. So I have been both. And, in being both or being wronged, I also looked at how I contributed to that. Now, granted, once again, I'm going to say a person who's going to cheat is just going to cheat regardless, But what red flags did you ignore whenever that person decided that, hey, I'm going to cheat, right? Like what red flags were you ignoring? Because there's always some things that we ignore, when a person we feel like that person is for me and they're gonna love me forever, and they really don't, and that's okay. It's okay if they don't love you forever. It's fine. That's the way it should be. So let's get started into the episode. The first thing I'm going to say is this. I'm going to give people their things. And today I'm going to give things to Crystal and Kid Fury. I am giving my thanks to them because they are Black excellence. If it wasn't for them, I would not be podcasting. I love what they did with podcasting. I love their show. And they motivated me to kind of use my voice a little bit better, more than what I usually do. And so I want to say thank you. I want to give my things to Kid Fury and Crystal. Make sure you check out their podcast. It's called The Read. It's amazing things and amazing stuff. You know what I'm saying? The second thing I want to talk about, self-care is the best care. So with that being said, self-care is the best care. This is a segment where I talk about things that are items that I use to give me self-care and make me happy, just helps me understand that I am taking care of myself. And the one thing that I love the best is my Dr. Teal's bubble bath, right? Dr. Teal's has most amazing bubble bath. I'm going to use it tomorrow. I'm on spring break, but I'm going to use that to soak tomorrow and chill out tomorrow because I'm a teacher and I'm on spring break and I need to decompress. But that is my self-care item that I want to tell you guys about this episode. It is so good. They have different fragrances. They have essential oils. They have one with hemp in it. Maybe one with CBD. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, they have lavender. Lavender is my favorite because lavender calms my mind down. I love lavender. And they have some with peppermint in it as well. So make sure y'all check that out. They make you feel like so much better, right? And just make you feel amazing. And what's not, yes, that is my favorite part of a bubble bath is the fact that it just makes you feel good. You get to sit in and soak and relax your muscles and feel all great. And so make sure y'all check that out. It's located, Dr. Teal's is about everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's at Walmart, Target. You can find it. Just go look it up. If you want to, go on Amazon real quick and get delivered to your door because that is also self-care. Amazon is the best care. I'm lying. Don't spend your money. Uh, but Amazon is really good for self-care things. And so, yeah, so that is my self-care is the best care segment. I am on Instagram. I'm also on my Patreon. And guys, on Instagram, this is all I'm giving you guys tonight because you could catch the live recording, the rest of it on the Patreon account. All you have to do is become a member of the Patreon for as little as $2. $2. You give me $2, you get the unedited version of the podcast. And when I mean unedited, y'all, I mean edited. And tonight is going to be crazy. So I love you guys for tuning in on Instagram. For my followers on Patreon, hey guys, you know, y'all keep staying on. I'm going to say bye to my people on Instagram. Bye, kids. I love you guys so much. Just click the link in the bio. You'll be able to get to the Patreon account. All right. Bye. Okay, so let's get into the get down to the get down. And here we go. So we're going to talk about these good old X-Files. X-Tales. I am so nervous and so scared. Okay, so let's get into it. So I've been trying to look up names. Let me go on Instagram and see if people have given me names. So I'm going to see. Hopefully they did. And I can, roll with this. Let's see if anybody gave me names. So happy I can edit stuff because I could get all of this out. Ha ha ha. Did anybody give me names? Let's see. Oh, okay. So we have Adam, Hakeem, Alvin, Carlos, Chauncey. Oh, these are good ones. Oh, these are going to be good. Alex, Henry, and Chauncey. Okay, so I'm going to do, I got a couple of A names in my repertoire. Yeah. But I'm going to start off with the H name, and I'm going to pick Hakeem. So I was engaged to Hakeem. Hakeem was my real life first ever boyfriend. I met Hakeem in college. We both played sports. And that's all I can say about Hakeem. He was older than me. And it was not a very conducive relationship for me. Okay. Not at all. With him being older than me, I feel like he more so was trying to be a parent than a partner and a friend. And I did not need a parent. I have four parents, right? I have stepmom and stepdad and biological dad and biological mother. I don't need no more parents. I didn't need any then. And as I grew, that relationship no longer served me. And I could tell because I was being rebellious to a person who was not my parent, like at all. He was not my parent, but very controlling. He didn't like me hanging out with my friends. When I would come home for breaks, he would monopolize my time with my parents and my family. There would be times where he would get mad at me because I didn't call him as soon as I got out of church. And when I mean as soon, I mean like as soon as I got out of church, he would get upset and angry at me and fuss at me. And like, it was really bad. It got to a point where my mom was just like, so tell him, when am I ever supposed to get my time? When am I supposed to get my time? Like, so Hakeem was not very good for me because he wanted to parent me instead of actually be a partner. Me and Hakeem fell out. It was my 22nd birthday. And he acted like he had graduated and moved away. He could have stayed. They wanted him to be a grad assistant, but he wanted to move back. And it was my 22nd birthday, and he told me he couldn't come see me on my 22nd birthday. So I made plans with my girl to kick it, have a good time, kick it. We were going to go setting up to go to a house party. We had went out to dinner. We went to her house to, chill out before the house party. All these other good things. This was my last year in undergrad. And I finally had some time to kick it because I was still doing track, but I had a little bit more freedom. I was on, what is it called? I was on scholarship, but I was more of like a grad assistant. So I was in my 5th year on scholarship. So it's time to kind of kick it, enjoy the college experience that I didn't get to because I was a collegiate athlete and a pretty damn good one at that, right? And I'll talk about that as well. So it's my 22nd birthday, and this man would not get off the phone. He kept trying to figure out who was around me, who was there, where was I going, what was I going to do. We stayed on the phone for 3 hours. 3 hours. Okay. Like it was ridiculous. So finally, my girl was like, yo, you need to get off the phone because we need to go celebrate your birthday. And I told him that, and he got so upset, like I was just abandoning him, which was not the case. It was so dumb, so stupid, like so dumb. So I think what really took the cake was that year I qualified for USA Track and Field Championships outdoors. And when you do that, you are able to bring a guest, like somebody who's not your coach. You're able to give them like a little hang tag or whatever. So he was going to be like my assistant. He was going to be able to get underneath the athlete's tent, be in the warm-up area, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, he's going to enjoy this. He gets to see what I'm doing, and see that it's really important to me. Because up until that point, he still felt like, I was just amazing at track, but it wasn't a big deal because it wasn't the sport he did. But so the night before, I already had the jitters. I was already nervous, and I was staying at my uncle's house. And I couldn't sleep. So I got up early, started doing my routine, getting my mind right, doing my focusing exercises. And I come back upstairs and he's going through my phone, like literally going through my phone. And I think at that point I looked at him and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, so you was talking to another dude while you was. I said, excuse me? He was like, you kept checking your phone. You was talking to another dude. I said, I was checking my phone because I was trying to figure out what time it is because I have a whole routine. You would know that if you knew how important this is to me. Then I remember telling him, you know what? We're not even going here because I have something important to do today. Right. So I'm trying not to let the stress of him going through my phone get to me. He gets like when we finally get to the track meet, like I'm ready. I'm pissed, but I let it go because I knew I had a job to do. Right. This is my job right now. My job is to be the best in the United States. That's my job, is to try to make it on a world team. That is my job. That is what I was trying to do. He gets there and he was like, dang, you around all these Olympians? Like there goes da-da-da. I had no clue. And I just looked at him. This was right before I was about to compete. I looked at him and I rolled my eyes. I was like, that shows you how much you pay attention to me. And after that, it was downhill from there. When I mean down here, I mean it was downhill because once he showed me how he felt about me, I reacted. I did probably the exact same thing he was doing to me while he was away. The final straw was I went to go visit him in his city because he was, in his profession, they allow spectators. So I went to go visit, cheer on, do all these other things. And my aunt came up there as well because, just because, to do the same thing, to support, because, this is the man who wants to marry me and be with me forever. And I look around and it's this chick that's there saying Hakeem's name proud. I looked at my aunt. My aunt looks at me. She says, you ready? I said, we can't go to jail here because I don't know how they I don't know how they be doing people in jail here. Y'all, when I mean after that, it was just go time. For me, I didn't say anything to her. I looked at him and I was like, who is that? He was like, oh, she's just a friend. But mind y'all, I couldn't have friends at that point of the opposite sex because that was disrespectful. So I showed him how disrespectful I could be. I don't think he'll ever know this. He probably will never find out, but I was very disrespectful. I knew once I started disrespecting him in our relationship, it was over. So we got to a certain point where I had a chance to get a job in the same city that he was living in. And he had bought a house and said this was going to be our house. And I remember I killed the job interview. And I looked at him when he came and picked me up, and I busted out crying. Why? Because I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was going to be trapped for the rest of my life. And it hurt my heart that I was going to have to settle for that type of treatment and not be able to grow and flourish. But I remember talking to my mother, and she told me, you know what? All you have to do, you don't have to accept the job. You don't have to marry him. You don't have to, Janae. It's not necessary. It's not something that you have to do. And I remember it was, so that happened like in June of that year, and Memorial Day. No, not Memorial Day. I don't remember what it was. It's probably the next year. Who knows, girl? I know it was after I got into my grad school program. And I remember calling him and saying, we have to break this off. This is not it. And that was the first adult decision I had ever made in a relationship, and probably one of the last ones that I will make for a very long time. But I knew that I couldn't be with him because I couldn't imagine myself in that situation. The only thing I could see myself as is being divorced within the 10 years that we would have gotten married. So I'm happy I broke that off. That's when I began to notice like control out of men. I started learning what control looks like out of men, what extreme control looks like, what mental abuse looks like. Because, whenever people are trying to control you and do those things, that's technically mental abuse. So I started to learn, started to see those issues there. Now, fast forward 5 months. So what I did was I got finished with school, with grad. You know what? That's when I think I left him. It was grad school. Yeah. Dang, it was grad school. So y'all lied. It wasn't when I graduated. It's been so long ago. That's why I'm telling you. I didn't lie. It was just after grad school. I remember I broke it off. Right before I moved back home to Houston, I broke it off. And so I ended up with Adam. Adam was supposed to be this wonderful church person who loved the Lord and praised God and was the biggest devil I had ever met in my whole entire life. This man was trash. And this is the one that I ignored all the red flags. When I mean I ignored all the red flags, toxic trait, I ignored all of the red flags. First red flag, the man was a church musician. I ain't got to say nothing else. I ain't got to say nothing else. That's all I got to say. The man was a church musician. He had everybody fooled, thinking that he was like, he loves the Lord and he was just for the ministry. And, oh, Janae, you and Adam will be amazing together. Y'all have nice little church babies and you be a first lady and blah, blah, all this BS. First of all, I'm never going to be a first. God has to come and talk to me himself in order to tell me I'm going to be a first lady, because that ain't going to happen. But anyway, so we start courting, because that was it. We were courting, and it wasn't that long. The man bought me this car, right? And y'all, it was like one that you could get off the salvage lot or something like that. It wasn't anything important. So I get home, and there's a car there, and I'm like, okay, well, thank you. And he was like, I bought you a car. Okay, all right, do you? Thank you for giving me a car or whatever. But with that car, there came stipulations. And I didn't realize it. First of all, the car was raggedy. Second of all, it came with verbal abuse. It came with 5 kids, 4 different babies' mamas. It came with a cheater. It came with just a whole slew of horrible things. Just all the horrible things. Okay. It came with it. And I knew I had to get out that relationship. So something happened to the car because it was raggedy anyways. And, I'm trying to make it work because people tell me, oh, he's, just stick with it. Women lead, men to God. Girl, don't do that. Don't fall for that. But anyway, so I was trying to stick with it. And the car broke down. And I know a little bit about cars. So I was like, the power steering's out, or it was the power steering was out and it overheated. So it needed a new hose, like for the radiator and stuff. And I tell him this, and he, no, it ain't. You don't know nothing. You stupid. You just moved back here and to mooch off your mama. You ain't got nothing and you ain't got nobody. Mind you, I just moved back. I graduated with my master's degree, my MED, and had a job. I was just a school teacher, so I wasn't working yet because school was out there in the summertime with this dumbass. Anyway, so in that car, I remember balling my fist up and holding it really tight because if I wouldn't have, I would have called a case because your girl was about to knock all them teeth out his mouth because he kept talking. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, bro, I got you. So I don't know what happens. He takes the car to the shop. The mechanic tells him the same thing I told him because, women don't know nothing. Then he calls me and I have to go present my project, my big, huge master's degree project. He calls me the night before I'm finishing up my slideshow, getting my points across, looking at my research, and tells me that, what, we shouldn't be together because, you don't have anything and you're just trying to be a spoiled princess and da, da, da. And I said, this Negro don't know me from Jack. So I'm in the house and I start doing push-ups because that's what I used to do. I'm doing push-ups to get my life right because I was about to fight. Like, I don't cry. Like, I fight. Like, that's what I do when I get angry. So what I did was this. I asked my mom, because I don't have a car. Remember, I just moved back. I asked my mom for the keys to the car. And she was like, where are you going? I was like, I just need the keys. Let me see the keys real fast. And she was like, Janae, where are you going? I was like, Mama, I'll be back. House. My mom calls me and says, my mother calls me and says, Janae, don't do it. You got to go, defend your project. You got to go present. You have so much more to lose than he does. So I'm sitting in the car mad. First of all, I'm mad because she right. Second of all, I'm mad because she right. And third of all, I'm mad because he was not going to get his retribution that I felt I need to give. I felt like if anybody was put in his life, God put me in his life to whoop his ass. That's what God did for me. Like, that's what it was supposed to be. But, I did not. And I kindly left him alone. I still revisited some of those those red flags because he had a mouth out this world. Take that however you want to. But I had to cut it off because he was also talking about me behind my back, like a little child, like a little teenage girl was running my name through the dirt, and I did nothing to him. So I finally let that go, and I'll move forward. And then, messed around, had some good times with. Let me read off these boy names y'all gave me on Instagram. I had fun with Chauncey. That was a situationship. I had fun with Carlos. That was another situationship. I also had fun with Alvin. And so when I call these situationships, I'm really telling y'all that I had a team after that. And what I mean by I had a team, I mean that I had a roster. So I knew who I was going out with Monday through Sunday. Because I was just over relationships. And then here comes, nope, can't use that name, Alex. Alex came when I turned 30. And that was a rough one for me. Alex was also older than me. Me and Alex worked in the same spot. We worked together. I was not coming for Alex. Alex was hunting me. And what I mean by hunting, I mean really hunting me because I was trying to stay low, do my job. I had just gotten a head coaching job. I was trying to be good at that. I knew what I was doing. Alex comes and like, hey, it'd be better if we join forces, da, da, da. I'm like, okay, you're looking out for me. I appreciate it. And then, red flag. So he's a cool person, very cool person. Hey, let's go out for a drink. Now, I promised myself to never date anybody I worked with because I was just, horrible. It's horrible. But once again, who's toxic and does not listen to her own advice? Janae. That's who does that, Janae. So Janae did not listen to her own advice with Alex, and she went out for the drink, which led to some other situations. And she wound up in a relationship. Now, it was great. It was good. Things were popping until I got sick. Right. And when I got sick, things changed a whole bunch. It was crazy year. And believe me, he was very supportive, very loving, very kind. He was an amazing person. But I don't know, when I got sick was something and it was mainly because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't really being focused on my self-care. When I got sick and had that blood clot, things absolutely changed. Absolutely changed. So he supported me, on the work area. He took care of those things. Not that my other assistants weren't. My other assistants were amazing, but he kind of took over in that part, made sure everything was good. But things started to change. Like he stopped answering the phone when I called. It would be just ringing, 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 ringing. Or what else would happen? It would be weird. His car would be at school, but he would not be there. And I stayed late at school because I was doing a lot of duties and just trying to be, the best head coach I could be. Um, and then, things also started to change where, we started going out less and less, or when we did go out, it was just reckless, y'all. Like when I mean I was reckless, we was reckless. Like that school was not well for my self-care. They were the reason after I left that school, I left that school because my mental health and physical health was just trash because it was a very stressful situation. Not only that, but it was also just I was not treating myself right. I was trying to define myself by this relationship with this person who really didn't want to be with me. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And honestly, we were not on the same page. We were 8 years in age difference apart. So I was trying to move into this whole getting married, settling down. And he was moving into a different phase of his life. I get that. That's fine. But at some point, that should have been said. Instead, it was a lot of theatrics. It was a lot of breakdowns, not for me. It was a lot of weird things going on, and I just could not understand it until, I figured out. I was looking through Facebook, trying to figure things out, and seeing he's going on trips, and I see women's feet that aren't mine. Facebook never lies, and I could do that because I was his girl, right? That was what I was supposed to be, his girl. Not at all. He put me on limited view on Facebook, so I couldn't see everybody who was commenting or the pictures he was posting on Facebook. I got a lot of the information from family members who were friends with me. Crazy, right? So when I finally figured it out, I went on a vicious, just once again, not being very good to myself and still in therapy, trying to figure things out. I went to a whole, you did it to me, I could do it better thing, right? And it was pretty bad. But it got to the point where when we finally broke up, and it wasn't really a breakup, it was because I asked. And he thought he was just gonna like float out of my life, like just ghost me. Not after 3.5 years, sir. That's not gonna happen. And another thing, I didn't even ask to be in a relationship with him. Like I said, it wasn't like I was chasing him. He was chasing me, girl. I was just trying to be footloose, fancy free, fine track coach, amazing track coach. But, I guess that's too much for people. Everybody has to own something that everybody else wants to own, which is just dumb. But I got out of that relationship and I stayed single for a very long time. But just because I stayed single doesn't mean I wasn't dating. I was still dating. I met some very amazing people. And I had to look at the way I was treating them while I was dating because I still carried over some toxic traits from those relationships. So a lot of people, like I said, I'm still friends with, but mind you, and I want to apologize to them, that group right there in the middle. I want to apologize to y'all because I was working out my shit with y'all, and I do apologize for that. You guys were so amazing. Y'all were nice, very thoughtful, and my behaviors or my actions or my words were were very like they shouldn't have been for you. And so I want to apologize for that. And it's crazy. I'm close to 40 now and I see the error of my ways. So I really do want to apologize for that. Y'all didn't ask to be a part of my baggage and y'all didn't ask for my baggage. So I want to apologize for that. And I hope you are moving on and you are the best. Some of them, like I said, are still my friends. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys for everything and putting up with just craziness. But those are my ex stories. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I was not rambling a lot. Once again, remember, I did not bash just the men. I talked about my trifling self as well. I don't know why, as women, we tend to ignore red flags. We tend to ignore the things that we should not, be even attracted to, but we ignore that stuff and we have to stop. Like, if anything, I know I had to stop it for myself. If I wanted to be in a positive adult relationship with people other than my family, I had to change and I had to come to grips and own up to the things that I did in my life and in my relationships. And so I hope you learned something from this evening. This all stemmed because I did have an ex, and I didn't talk about him because he's not even like he wasn't an ex. Like, he was really a jump off. Let's be honest. And he put himself in the ex position, but he was a jump off, a situationship. I'm sorry. At least I told the truth now. But that's what happened with that. But guys, I hope you learned from my stories. I hope you enjoyed those stories. I hope I hope you learned from them and don't do the things that I did. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Make sure you check out you sign up for Get in Focus, the Get in Focus conference. It is being held on March 27th. So you have 10 days to get your free ticket because we want to help you. Me and Arlene from Shall We Proceed podcast want to help you get in focus with your wellness, overall wellness, girl. So sign up for those free tickets and invite a friend. Why not? It's amazing. Also, be on the lookout for right now. My ebook is out, The Journey Back to Loving Yourself, which is what I wrote in between my last ex and my marriage because I had to get back to loving myself. So check that out. Also, it is available. The ebook is available now on Amazon, and the hard copy will be available at the end of this month. So I am super excited about that. Make sure you check that out. Guys, I love you. Continue to be a light. Continue to work on a relationship with yourself and just grow and be amazing because you are, and we need you in this world. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.